We all have our struggles when it comes to grappling with the end of the weekend and the beginning of a new week. But I have some ideas for you today to help you combat those annoying Sunday scaries. Good morning, good life. Welcome back to Amy TV, where we come together to help you go after the life you want. We all have some version of the Sunday Scaries, whether you know what they are or not. If you don't know what they are, the Sunday Scaries are basically a popularized name for that anxiety that you start feeling at the end of the weekend in anticipation for an impending new week. No matter what your Monday looks like, where you have to return to an office, get to work, go to school, or anything else, back to reality is what a lot of people think when they think about Mondays. And so ultimately, your feelings prior to start to get to you. It's all mentality. So as we approach a new week, I have a few ideas to help you combat the Sunday scaries. It's not going to be the same for everyone. We all have different levels of anxiety depending on ourselves. And the Sunday scaries may not completely go away. But hopefully these are a few steps that you can take to feel a little bit more positive and ambitious going into your week. I personally think that everyone's Sunday scaries have to do with some sort of causation in your life and therefore a certain effect. So let's look at this as a cause and solution situation. Starting with the cause of Saturday Fun Day. Yes, I made that up. It's supposed to be Sunday Fun Day, but Sunday Fun Day doesn't exist if you have the Sunday Scaries. I'm talking about Saturday Fun Day, when maybe you have a few too many glasses of Prosecco, or you stayed up really, really late, whatever the case may be, you do something that ultimately makes you way less productive on Sunday. So not only are those feelings setting in, hangovers be gone please, but also the feeling of, oh my gosh, I have to be ready to be a full-on adult tomorrow. If you've deduced that this is your cause, my solution is move your body. I know that if I have a really fun Saturday night, Sunday always feels like I lost the entire weekend because you put so much energy into that one little maybe 5 to 6 to 7 hour period of the weekend that it's like, oh my gosh, I really did nothing else the entire time. If you move your body, there's gonna be a couple of things that help you with this. First of all, it's gonna make you feel much more productive. Anytime you're getting any kind of exercise at all, it feels really good. But it's also gonna help you a little bit with your exercise overwhelm. Maybe you're thinking, oh, my amazing workout starts on Monday, just like my diet starts on Monday. All those things that start on Monday, that's piling up, that's giving us the Sunday scaries. If you're thinking, oh yeah, I have to go to the gym and I have to go to work and I have all these commitments, maybe it starts to knock down a little bit of the whole you can't start your workout until Monday thing if you do something to move your body today. So you're not only exerting that stress by getting some of that movement, but you're hopefully trying to cleanse a little bit of the situation that is last night's wine. Something that has been a new thing in my life that I have never done at the frequency that I do now is just taking walks, especially because of social distancing, getting outside and just doing something with my husband that's not sitting at home or sitting at the computer or sitting in front of a TV has been huge. And I think walking is so unbelievably underrated. We always end up out for way longer than we thought because if the walks are actually fun and interesting to look at, they're amazing. I'm going on a tangent here just to say you don't have to do too much to move your body. So even if it's just taking a 5, 10, 15-minute walk outside, breathe some fresh air, if it's possible for you to do it, do that. The next cause, I think, of Sunday scaries is planning paralyzation. You might be getting the scaries because you feel like you fell behind in planning or executing maybe from the previous week or for the next week. And so you think, oh my gosh, I don't even have the energy or the mental state to sit down and think, what do I have to do this week? I'm too afraid to do what's happening this week. I don't want to have to think about it. I'm not going to ask you to sit down and do your Ivy Lee method and your prioritization matrix and all that kind of fun stuff that you could do to plan your week if it's feeling overwhelming. I want you to just try the solution of the one thing task list. You know you have something that's important and urgent that very, very, very likely would serve you if it got done tomorrow, if not today, but we're just trying to get rid of the scaries today, so we're not doing it today. Write a 1 task to-do list for tomorrow. Not 3 things, not 6 things, just 1, because that 1 thing is very likely the only thing you have to do tomorrow. We usually pack on so much that we should be doing or must be doing, and so we have to get to it on our Monday to start the week off strong. More unnecessary stress chiming in for your Sunday Scaries. So just write down the 1 thing that would really feel like you got something done tomorrow or your Monday, and very likely the only thing that if you didn't do it, it would actually be a problem. We don't actually have that many things we have to do on a daily basis that are not fairly habitual as it is. If you're concerned from a productivity standpoint and you just have to get something done, don't put too much pressure on yourself. Just do the doable. Write 1 thing down. And if you really feel good, plot that thing on the calendar. I do recommend that because if you just pick the block of time that it makes sense to get that thing done tomorrow, probably has to do with when you're going to be working, when you're not going to be working, when you're on a break, when you're not on a break. It's totally dependent on what that task is, but I would plot it on the calendar because then you can at least say, all I have to do is what is in this space tomorrow. The next big cause for Sunday Scaries, in my opinion, is nothing to look forward to. It's kind of a bummer when you're like, oh my gosh, this is my Sunday. This is supposed to be my Sunday fun day, my cool day, my chill day, and I am having a heart attack. Like, that's just not fun. Not to mention the fact that there's nothing on my calendar that I'm excited about, at least not until next weekend. The biggest solution here is just make something to look forward to. So maybe you can reach out to a friend and say, let's hang out, whether that's virtually or in person. Or there's something that you want to do that's just for you that you can schedule. Even if that something is just something you can do around your house. Maybe something that actually brings you pleasure. If you knew you had time for it at some point and you scheduled it, it may not be on your Monday. If it is, that would be a great way to feel better about your Sunday Scaries. But it could also be a day in the middle of the week that helps you get through to the weekend. Whether it's just sitting down to paint a picture because you have all the supplies but you haven't had time to do it, or you just want to have like wine time with a friend. If you have nothing to look forward to, start looking forward to something. One of the big things that I've done that keeps me from getting the Sunday Scaries is that as a business owner, I can work when I want to work. And I do end up working sometimes on Sundays because I post videos on Amy TV. So I actually take a little bit of Monday off in the afternoon to balance out that work time. And then the next day doesn't feel like such a big deal to me. I just know I have to basically work through lunch, and then the rest of the afternoon is really chill because of the way I've batched and blocked the rest of my week. I imagine there's not a lot of people on this planet that can do that. It depends on how much flexibility and ownership and independence you have and freedom with your time, which is why I recommend the GATLUW Society, where you can learn how to work for yourself and make that happen. However, if it's an option, maybe you've just been working yourself so hard, too hard, that you haven't given yourself time to rehabilitate, and the Sunday Scaries feel even worse. Something to consider if that's an option for you. Another really big cause that I think traps us in a lot of ways into the Scaries is just putting too much pressure on Sundays. Sundays feel like a day where we can get ahead, and they make us think like, oh, we could do all of that on Sunday and then we'll be way ahead of the curve on Monday in the work week when normal people get back to work. I have done this to myself so many times, and sometimes it works, most of the time it doesn't, because then you're on Sunday and you're supposed to do all of the things that are gonna put you ahead of everybody else, but you just want to do nothing. So that's a conflicting point of view. It's hard to then execute on any level because you're like, I don't even want to do one thing, much less this list of things that was supposed to put me ahead. So if you found yourself in this situation a lot, you might want to start planning for Sundays to be nothing but an unplanned self-care day. And by self-care, I mean, don't plan to do anything. Don't force yourself to do anything. Don't tell yourself you should be doing something. Just allow it to be a complete rehabilitation based on what you feel like doing that day. And the final cause I want to talk about is a miserable job. The reality of the situation is there's a lot of people that have to go to work on Monday, and they might find themselves surrounded with people who don't exactly make them feel like better versions of themselves. In fact, you may think that the people you work with make you a significantly lesser version of yourself. First of all, that absolutely could be. You could work with very crappy people. That is totally a possibility. Second of all, you could be the crappy person sometimes. I mean, if you're blaming everybody else for making you a lesser version of yourself, you might be unnecessarily placing that blame. But depending on where you are in this situation, it may be irreparable and you may need to just find a new job. I want to say something because I don't know who needs to hear this, but I think it might have to do with this category. It could have to do with something else going on in your life. But when someone said this to me, I never forgot it because I really questioned it and told myself a different story for a long time. You are never stuck. Ever. You may not be able to move quickly and immediately right now to a better situation, but you're never stuck. There is always another option for you. So if you really are in a toxic situation and you feel like your superiors are not good for you, or your coworkers are not good for you, or the actual work itself is not good for you, you can make a change. Start to talk to yourself about that. Maybe you do nothing else on Sundays, but think about the very small steps you can start to take to make that pivot in your life. You do not have to massively change, but it might give you light at the end of the tunnel when you go back to your job and you realize, like, there is a possibility I could leave and I'm doing something about it. I didn't have a toxic job. I actually really loved my job. It was what I went to school for. It's just that I realized, like, I was in love with something else on a deeper level. So I was very sad going to work for a while because I was like, oh no, I have to work here to pay my bills. And it was fine, but I just knew I should be doing something else. When I thought about it differently and realized I am making my way to potentially leave and work on my own terms someday, I went into work differently. I was more helpful. I was more optimistic. I was more excited because I knew what I was doing there was what I was supposed to be doing. And then what I would do at home to prep for my move was also what I was supposed to be doing. And because of that, I was at that job for about a year. And I should say, I was at that job much longer. I was at that job for a year knowing I would leave. I was there a total of 4 to 5 years. But that last year was preparation for the fact that I didn't have to come back and beg for my job when working for myself didn't work. And I've been able to be on my own now for more than a decade. So I do think that it has a lot to do with getting your mind right so that you can take the small steps forward to getting yourself to a situation you want to be in. So if the solution is to get a better job, get a better job. It may not happen for your Monday, but it could happen sooner than you think. Probably even sooner than a year. It took me a year, but it could take less than that for you. If you're struggling with staying positive and keeping the right people around you to make you think about what could be for you, I highly recommend Shine Squad. It's my Patreon. There's amazing people over there who not only are trying to wake up a little bit earlier so they can find the time they need in their lives to go after the life that they want, but they really are lifting each other up as well. We do all kinds of stuff. I do a daily 5-minute podcast Monday through Friday, so maybe that'll help you on your Monday. We do live Q&As. There's a coffee mug for Good Morning, Good Life over there if you join Tier 4. It's a lot of fun, so go and check that out. Do you struggle with the Sunday Scaries? What is something that you might try now that we've had this conversation to help you combat that anxiety? Share that in the comments below. That's all for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it as always. Make sure you subscribe for good vibes, kiss the ones you love, and go after the life you want. Cheers. Kat G, I agreed. Time management is so much more important in quarantine, and we're posting videos every Sunday here on Amy TV, so thank you for being here. Fuzzy, I agree. I don't know how I came up with that dance, but it totally worked. Charlotte, let me tell you, you, my friend, are a hell yes. Alex, I'm really, really good at predicting what you need. Jara, I know I have this like weird staircase behind me. I guess it does kind of look like a crib, but I'm a big girl, so yay. Doug, I see you task switching. You need to fix it. Jade, I get a little serious sometimes too, don't worry. And to Gabriella, yes, I think we need to have a no conversation very soon to make this easier on everyone.